A judge in North Carolina has made a big decision that affects NASCAR. Rick Ware Racing cannot sell their team, which is worth $150 million, because of a temporary order from the court. This isn't a typical racing controversy. We're talking about courtroom drama involving seven-time champion Jimmie Johnson's Legacy Motor Club, millions of dollars in charter rights, and accusations of lies told directly to a judge. The legal battle has exploded into multiple lawsuits with enough twists to make your head spin. TJ Puchyr, co-founder of Spire Motorsports and current consultant to various race teams, struck a deal to purchase Rick Ware Racing for $150 million. The agreement would transfer the entire NASCAR Cup Series team operation, including both of RWR's valuable charters. Puchyr announced his purchase plans in June 2025. The timing couldn't have been worse. Rick Ware Racing was already neck-deep in legal trouble with Legacy Motor Club over a separate charter dispute. The sale announcement immediately triggered alarm bells for Legacy's legal team. The deal promised to reshape multiple NASCAR teams. Puchyr made clear intentions to keep Cody Ware in the driver lineup after acquiring RWR's assets. His broader plan included expanding Spire Motorsports into a three-car operation, potentially creating new opportunities while displacing other drivers currently in the field. But Legacy Motor Club had other plans. They weren't about to watch their charter deal disappear in what they called a backdoor transaction. NASCAR charters function as the sport's version of franchise tags. These agreements guarantee teams' entry into every Cup Series race, plus monetary assurances through revenue sharing. Charter ownership represents one of the most valuable assets in professional motorsports. Rick Ware Racing controls two charters with different arrangements. The team uses one charter to field the number 51 car for owner Rick Ware's son Cody Ware in full-time competition. The second charter is currently leased to RFK Racing for Ryan Preece's number 60 car. NASCAR rules allow teams to loan their charter out once per charter agreement period. These periods run concurrent with each broadcast rights agreement. The leasing system provides flexibility for team operations while maintaining the charter's value as a transferable asset. The charter system creates substantial financial incentives. Teams with charters receive guaranteed starting positions and revenue distributions that non-chartered teams cannot access. This guaranteed income stream makes charters incredibly valuable in NASCAR's economic ecosystem. Legacy Motor Club operates under the ownership of seven-time Cup Series champion Jimmie Johnson. The team carries significant financial backing from Knighthead Capital Management, a private equity firm worth over $13 billion. This substantial investment demonstrates the serious money flowing into NASCAR's charter market. Legacy's business model depends on charter access for competitive viability. Without a charter, teams face uncertainty about race entry and miss out on guaranteed revenue streams. The Johnson-owned organization needed charter security to justify their major financial commitments. The original charter agreement between Legacy and Rick Ware Racing was brokered by TJ Puchyr himself. This fact would later become central to the legal disputes when Puchyr switched from helping Legacy secure a charter to purchasing the entire Rick Ware operation. Legacy believed they had secured their NASCAR future through a signed charter purchase agreement. They were wrong about how complex this deal would become. Legacy Motor Club claims they signed a charter purchase agreement for the 2026 season with Rick Ware Racing. They maintain this deal was legitimate and binding, giving them rights to one of RWR's two charters. Rick Ware Racing tells a completely different story. The team insists the original charter agreement with Legacy was meant for the 2027 season, not 2026. RWR points to existing commitments that make a 2026 charter transfer impossible. The confusion extends beyond timing to which specific charter was being sold. Court documents reveal disputes over whether charter number 36 or charter number 27 was the subject of the agreement. Both charters are now tied to Puchyr's pending $150 million purchase. Rick Ware had already committed to a complex charter arrangement with RFK Racing. The plan involves swapping the charters currently in play and leasing one charter to RFK in 2026. Only after fulfilling this commitment could RWR sell a charter outright to Legacy in 2027. Both sides agree that a valid contract exists for the sale of one charter. They just can't agree on the details that matter most: which charter, what year, and under what terms. Legacy Motor Club filed their initial lawsuit against Rick Ware Racing in April 2025. They alleged RWR backed out of a signed charter sale agreement and demanded the court force completion of the deal. Rick Ware Racing fired back with counterclaims. They accused Legacy of attempting to secure a different racing contract than the one originally agreed upon. RWR maintained they never intended to sell charter number 27, as doing so would leave the team unable to race. The legal dispute intensified when Puchyr's $150 million purchase emerged. Legacy viewed this as a betrayal of their original charter agreement. They argued that RWR was deliberately trying to escape their contractual obligations through the team's sale. Legacy escalated the conflict by filing a second lawsuit directly against TJ Puchyr. They accused him of an underhanded attempt to purchase RWR and interfering with their charter acquisition. The lawsuit alleges Puchyr intentionally induced Rick Ware Racing to breach their contract with Legacy. The Puchyr lawsuit revealed another layer of complexity. He had previously worked with Legacy through an independent contractor agreement via his consulting firm, Ruckus. Legacy terminated this consulting relationship after Puchyr announced his RWR purchase plans. Legacy's legal team argues Puchyr gained access to confidential information through his consulting work, which he later used for competitive advantage in pursuing the Rick Ware Racing acquisition. Mecklenburg Superior Court Judge Clifton Smith presided over the hearing that would determine Rick Ware Racing's immediate fate. The courtroom tension was thick as both legal teams presented their arguments for and against the temporary restraining order. Legacy Motor Club's attorney Keith Forst argued passionately for the restraining order. What we know is that these promises were made, and this backdoor transaction was apparently entered into and is apparently a binding agreement, although not yet closed, Forst told the court. Forst emphasized the asymmetric harm at stake. There is really no harm to defendant whatsoever, and there is tremendous harm to plaintiff Legacy if this closing of these assets in fact happens. He characterized Legacy's request as modest and prudent. Rick Ware Racing's counsel, Mark Henriquez, pushed back aggressively. My clients did exactly what they had the freedom to do, work out a deal that meets the needs of the entity, and enter into a binding transaction that covers the entire business and yet keeps Cody racing, Henriquez argued. Henriquez accused Legacy of overreaching. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too since they lost the first preliminary injunction, he said. He maintained that RWR and Puchyr intended to honor existing deals while meeting their business needs. The attorney insisted that Rick Ware Racing face no restrictions on their business decisions. There's a binding contract already, Henriquez said. There is nothing for your honor to enjoin, even if you were to find that they have some likelihood of success on some claim. Judge Smith ultimately sided with Legacy Motor Club on the immediate relief. He issued a verbal order for a 10-day temporary restraining order blocking any sale of Rick Ware Racing to Puchyr. The court required Legacy Motor Club to post a $5 million bond by the end of business Friday as a condition for the restraining order. This bond protects Rick Ware Racing from financial damages if the restraining order proves to be wrongfully granted. Rick Ware Racing's attorneys pushed for a dramatically higher bond amount. They requested the court set the bond at $150 million, matching the full purchase price of Puchyr's deal. This would have made the restraining order financially prohibitive for Legacy to maintain. Judge Smith rejected RWR's bond request and accepted Legacy's $5 million proposal. The decision represents a significant victory for Legacy, allowing them to maintain the restraining order without risking their entire financial position. The bond amount reflects the court's preliminary assessment of potential damages. A $150 million bond would have suggested the court viewed Legacy's claims as weak,